Good morning. Happy Wednesday. I have Neuro Coffee in hand and it is perfect. Got a very busy Wednesday, so I want to dive right into this Q&A because it's kind of a cool one because I posted a couple of videos on Instagram recently about activities to offset a left shift of the squat and a right shift of the squat, and it produced a lot of questions. And I think even Tim on Instagram asked if I could give him a little bit of a chessboard, so we'll try to do that too. But let's talk through this because what we're dealing with is normal squat mechanics, and then we're superimposing some altered initial conditions which produces a left shift or a right shift in the squat. So let's go through these. Let me grab the pelvis. So typically we're going to see this with somebody that's biased towards a wide ISA. And so when I say that, it's like, it doesn't have to be the extreme. It's just somebody that does not close the ISA very well. And so they're going to have this tendency to have this nutated position of the sacrum as part of their starting mechanics. So if we look through normal squat mechanics, at the top where we would have the hip near 0 degrees of extension, we're going to be towards an inhaled position. So it's going to be an externally rotated position at the hip. As I pass through the sticking point, that's our primary internal rotation position. And so we're going to see a widening. We'll see a widening of the IPA and internal rotation of the hip through the middle. And then at the end, we're going to see of hip flexion, we're going to see the external rotation, if you will, of the pelvis. So we get sacral movement and iliac movement at the top of hip flexion, which would be the bottom of the squat. So those are our normal mechanics. Go external rotation, internal rotation, external rotation. Okay. So if I disturb those in any way, I'm going to see something happen in the squat. So in most cases, what we're going to see, I'm going to tip it this way. If I start in this nutated position for the wide, but I have a compressive strategy in this upper posterior left, so I'm holding the left sacral base forward, what's going to happen is I'll get a tip of the left side of the pelvis that goes forward more than the right, and this steals external rotation from this hip. But because I'm biased towards a wide, I preserve my internal rotation. Now, as I squat, what happens is I have to take advantage of my internal rotation as I get there, and because I can't externally rotate as I pass through the sticking point, the sacrum is going to stay biased to be turned to the right. I have the same strategy going on in the thorax. So essentially what I've done is I've turned the whole axial skeleton to the right, but my femurs, my hips are facing straight ahead. So I've got that kind of a squat. So as I squat, my straight down is actually back into the left. And so that's why you see the left hip shift. Okay, now let's take another layer of strategy D. I start from that same compressive strategy that I saw with the left shift, but now I'm going to superimpose an anterior compressive strategy on the left side in addition to that. So what happens is I get a shape change around the acetabulum, which is actually going to turn it a little bit. So I actually pick up concentric orientation of the external rotation muscles right off of the trochanter here, but that's going to bring the femur and the sacrum a little bit closer together on this side. And so I get an oblique tilt of the pelvis in this case. And now I've tipped my right side a little bit farther forward than the left side. So that's what the orientation looks like. So I'm closing this space right here, and that will push it forward on the left. Now, on the right side, I still have the right side tipped forward. So remember, I've lost my hip external rotation. And so as I squat under these circumstances, this stays forward, and then I take advantage of the IR that I do have, and I open up that space right here. So this space is going to open up. So if I create space there, that's the direction that I'm going to go. So as I sit down, because I've got more compressive strategy on this side holding this forward, this side stays open more as I squat, and then I'm going to shift over into that right space. Now, in this case, I'm definitely going to have a decreased left straight leg raise, decreased left hip flexion. In the first case with the left shift, I'm going to have a normal straight leg raise in most cases, but still lose the end range hip flexion. So keep that in mind. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of a taste. I'm sure there'll be more questions in that regard, because It does require a little bit of complexity in regards to the compressor strategies that we're using, but this should get you started. So feel free to ask questions. I'll be posting this up on YouTube as well, so you'll be able to access that there, and we can clarify things as we go. Because like I said, I know I threw a lot at you at once here, and I'd be happy to go through it again. Have a great Wednesday, and I'll see you guys later.